Young Adult Podcast.
Welcome to podcast 198.
Podcast 198.
Pastor Aaron is on vacation this week.
He is. He's in Ohio.
Oh.
I know. I mean, you get the idea of, I'm going on vacation. It's going to be awesome. Oh, where are you going? Ohio.
What's he doing?
I think they're in Hocking Hills.
That's awesome.
Which is one of the only good things about Ohio.
Cedar Point's great.
I'm not a roller coaster guy.
Okay, well, Cedar Point's still great.
Yes.
Even if you're not a roller coaster
Yes.
guy, I mean, like, just being there, it's actually pretty cool.
I like Snoopy. Snoopy's at Cedar Point.
Yeah, there's stuff to do there besides roller coasters. I
Yes.
mean, but like
Yeah.
the bumper cars and the food and the entertainment. Like, there's some stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Top two
saying?
things about Ohio: Hocking Hills, Cedar Point, everything else.
Everything else?
Everything else. Just everything else in Ohio is roped into the last thing.
Just everything.
Yep. But Pastor Aaron's on vacation.
He's on vacation.
That's
Hocking
why
Hills
I'm
is
here.
awesome. All right, but that's why Preston's here.
I'm here. Hello.
Everybody give a round of applause for Preston.
Oh, please. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not worthy.
Do you hear, isn't that great to get an applause?
If I could hear it, yes. If not, that's okay.
Oh, today's going to be a good day.
It is going to be a good day.
Last week we taste tested Junior's Cheesecake, which claims to be the world's most fabulous cheesecake.
And on the side of the box has a 100% guarantee that you'll be satisfied.
And me and Pastor Aaron tested what claims to be the world's best cheesecake, and we decided, in fact, no.
Founder Harry Rosen lied.
Harry, do better.
Do better.
Now listen, your cheesecake is not the world's most fabulous cheesecake. It is not the world's best cheesecake, but right now it stands on top of the pedestal as the world's best product so far.
This is incredible.
We found this at the church, and I didn't even know it existed.
I know. I've gone here almost my entire life. I've never seen this pedestal before.
I had never
Until
either.
today.
I went searching for something. I found this. I couldn't believe what I found. But here it sits on top of the pedestal as the number one item so far.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is each week we're going to test a product that claims to be the world's best.
Mm-hmm.
And if that product outdoes the current reigning champ,
Yes.
then it takes the place on the throne.
Okay.
All right?
I'm excited.
So this week we've got a brand new product.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I am ready.
Taffy Shop, which is a company that makes saltwater taffy.
Okay.
On the bag. Do you see that?
Wow, words are hard. Chewy, salty, whippy, yours, world's best.
Now let me show this to the camera.
Okay.
Just to prove
Yes.
that it is claiming to be the world's best.
Yes. The thing about taffy shops is no matter what taffy shop you go to, whether you're in Traverse City or Frankenmuth or Mackinac or whatever it might be, every single taffy shop has a sign with red lettering that says world's greatest taffy.
You might be right about that, but my friend, this was the only one that we could find that put it on the actual bag.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm ready.
So let me explain how this goes. We are not testing our favorite products
No.
that we say is the world's best. We're testing products that claim to be the world's best.
Yes.
So, you ready?
I am ready.
For the intro?
Yes.
Is this really the world's best?
This is the best thing I've ever had.
All right. Chewy, salty, whippy, yours.
World's best. What are some of the flavors?
We got 8 flavors: cotton candy, raspberry, banana, vanilla waffle cone, peppermint, watermelon, birthday cake. I don't know why it says cake twice.
I don't know.
And then maybe the weirdest one of all, root beer barrel.
Not the root beer, but the barrels the root beer is stored in.
That seems like I'd rather have the root beer, not the barrel. But
Yeah.
which one would you want to try?
I want to try birthday cake.
Why does it say it twice?
I don't know.
It's so nice they had to say it twice.
So nice had this. Well, then it also clarifies it on the bottom. It says birthday cake. Birthday cake.
It feels like it's some sort of weird Japanese
In case you were
translation
confused.
that didn't come out well.
Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe like birthday cake is a flavor, but it's not actual cake, and this actually tastes like the cake. I don't know.
I'm gonna try watermelon.
Okay.
Oops,
Um,
sorry about that camera or microphone thing.
No, I like saltwater taffy.
This
So
has got to be the watermelon.
I'm excited.
Right here.
Yeah.
You like saltwater taffy.
I do.
So you're kind of like maybe the right person to to give the opinion?
I would say so. I usually only have like the banana flavor, but I enjoy saltwater taffy.
All right, I'm excited about watermelon. I
Yes.
I wouldn't say that I like love saltwater taffy. It's not
Yeah.
my go-to,
Yeah,
but
same.
I've had enough to. I think I could have a good opinion.
All right.
Here we go. Man. Chewy, salty,
Really chewy.
whippy. I don't know. Whippy is a good explanation.
Yours.
All right. I'm not joking when I say this, Preston. Mm-hmm. That's the best saltwater taffy I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
I've had a weird experience.
It's really good,
At first, mine tasted like watermelon.
even though you had the birthday cake.
Yeah. And so it tasted like watermelon,
Man,
and
that
then
was good.
it tastes like birthday cake. I like it. It is out of the world's best products I've had. This is definitely the best.
This is the only one you've had.
Yes, but it's also the best.
Man, I want to try cotton candy.
Okay.
Do you want to try one more?
I do want to try one
This
more.
is so good that I really want another one.
I'm going to try root beer barrel.
That's curious to me.
If I can
So,
find it.
Cotton candy. It looks cool too. I don't know if everybody can see this. It just has a good, it's good, colorful. It's bright.
Nice.
There's probably a lot of
I think they're-
artificial colors, but
I don't think they gave us root beer barrel. Well, there's no root beer barrel. So, I'll try BANANAS.
I was gonna say, do the banana. I
Bananas.
mean, like,
Yeah.
you're the banana guy. Try the banana one.
I guess I am the banana guy today. Here we go.
My gosh. Okay, I gotta clarify this. Saltwater taffy is not my favorite, but that's not what we're testing.
Nope.
But this is the best saltwater taffy I've ever had. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited.
You want to dethrone him?
Yeah.
Get out of here, Junior.
He only lasted 1 week, and we were kind of disappointed that it was up there.
Look
We
at
got
that.
a brand new champion.
It's great.
Absolutely.
A little bit upset they didn't give us root beer barrel.
Maybe it is in there. We have to dig for it a little
Maybe.
bit. We'll dig afterwards. Because I want to have more.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, man. Are you ready with the culture clash?
I am.
You know what? I have a really unique culture clash today.
I kind of do as well.
Interesting.
Yes,
You want me to introduce it?
I will. Man, this clashes with my biblical worldview.
Man, that clashes with my biblical worldview.
All right. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. This is something I was thinking about today, and I think it perfectly encapsulates a problem with our culture today. And I work a part-time job at the movie theater some Fridays, and I saw a trailer for a new movie starring Neil McDonough.
I don't know who that is.
Neil McDonough, he's got like gray hair, like white hair, really, really, really blue eyes. And if you looked up a picture of him, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Okay.
So he's not a huge star, not a big name or anything. But in the early 2000s, he was. He was an up-and-coming actor who was doing a lot of big movies. He was in the movie Minority Report.
Oh, yeah.
He starred alongside Tom Cruise
Okay.
as like the secondary protagonist guy. And he was set for a massive career in Hollywood. And this movie trailer I saw reminded me of what happened. Now, Neil's a devout Catholic, super loyal to his wife and his family, and he got a big role in, I don't remember what movie, but it was a big movie franchise, and he got a role. But they wanted him to do a sex scene with somebody.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about now.
Yeah, and
okay.
they wanted him to like make out with his co-star, do a sex scene, and he refused. Because he's like, hey, I have my Christian beliefs. I want to remain loyal to my wife.
Yeah.
And they blacklisted him from Hollywood.
Man.
And for years, he didn't get roles. He got really minor roles in TV, really minor roles on like soap operas and stuff, but nothing that was as big as his career was going to go towards. And it's because he stayed true to his values, stayed true to his wife, and he got punished for it. And that it's interesting because if you look at like celebrity culture, there's always cheating, always divorce, there's always everything.
Yeah, the more drama, the better it appears.
Yeah. And then Neil, good old Neil, who trying to remain loyal to his wife, faithful to his values, stirring up no drama.
Yeah.
He's the one who gets in trouble for it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, though? He chose the right thing.
He did.
He did.
And that mindset clashes with my biblical worldview.
I like that. I like that. All right. I want to talk about stress.
Okay.
Stress.
Are you stressed?
Currently, yes.
Oh, why? Never mind.
Too much happening in my world.
Okay. Have some saltwater taffy. You'll feel better.
It did make me feel better.
That's good.
I want to talk about stress, and I picked up the candle, and I didn't light it. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I didn't light it is because I wanted to use it as
Perfect.
As an illustration.
Okay.
All right. So I want you to hold this, right? Like straight out. Like, there you go. How heavy is that?
Not super heavy.
Okay. You got to give the audience maybe a number.
Maybe 2.5 pounds.
That's what I was thinking. Not heavy at all.
No.
What if I told you to hold your arm like that for 1 hour?
I could do it, but my shoulder would probably get pretty sore.
All right. What about if I told you to hold it like that for 24 hours straight?
I think my arm would give out at some point.
It would be too heavy.
Yeah, it'd be too heavy.
It really would.
Yeah.
Now, my culture clash is this. I think that the world tends to put too much weight on things that really aren't that heavy.
Yeah.
So there's pressure sometimes to perform, to get an education, to be something,
Yeah.
to appear some way. And it adds all this stress on us. And we're carrying things that don't really at first seem heavy. But day after day, it wears us out.
Yeah.
And you can hand me the...
Oh, thank you.
I know. Actually, I bet it felt a
I was
little...
going to say, even after like a minute,
I
it was
know.
starting to be like, wow, this feels way heavier than 2.5
I know.
pounds.
In the natural, initially, when something is presented, hey, carry this.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. That's a great idea. That's good. You know, the world says, oh, here you go. Have this. Do that. Okay. All right. Great. But then what then, though? What after years of holding on to something that maybe you shouldn't have?
Yeah.
Does it begin to cause you stress and wear you out? And you need to stop carrying it. Stop carrying it.
Yeah.
And my culture clash is this. As a Christian, there's certain things I will not carry that the world tells me to carry. I put them down.
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of what Neil did.
Yeah.
Here, do it like be this, be that, carry this, carry that. He says, no, I won't. I'm not going to do those things. I'm not doing that. I'm putting it down as a Christian. That's not me. And I feel like that's a lot of what we choose to do as Christians. No, I'm not carrying that.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying that banner.
Yeah.
I am not your banner guy for that mission. No, that's not me. And I'm not carrying it. Oh, you bigot, you jerk,
How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, don't you care? Yeah, I care actually more than you because I'm willing to tell people the truth so they don't have to live a lie. Or I'm willing to be truthful with people even if it hurts. Just because, it's some... so yeah, I probably care more than you. But I'm not carrying it. I refuse. My culture clash is this. Some Christians need to put down some things that the world has demanded they carry.
Oof. That's good.
You like that?
I do like that.
Awesome. Cool. All right. I'm excited for Bible Talk today.
Man, I love me some Bible talk.
I love me some Bible talk.
All right. We got some scriptures.
We do.
But before we get into the scriptures,
Notes. You came prepared.
I usually do.
I brought a water bottle. So I'm prepared in a different way.
If you're just listening
But maybe not.
and not watching, I picked up my notes and Preston said, wow, you came prepared.
I don't know. I have nothing.
You don't need. You know what? You're just like Pastor Aaron. He just flows with it.
He just flows with it.
I respect it.
Thank you.
Respect it. Well,
Usually I'm a note guy though. I need a ton of notes for stuff.
you don't need to know for this one. You're passionate about it.
Okay, hooray.
We were talking about this earlier.
We were.
And we said, you know what? This needs to be the podcast. This needs to be the podcast talk for the day. Mm-hmm. How to find the Lord's will for your life. That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Have we overcomplicated it, Preston?
I think we have.
I think we have too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been actually with a megaphone been talking, like I've been for years now, we're talking about how to find the Lord's will for your life, how to find the purpose for your life. I've been talking about it with a megaphone, with a microphone, and it still doesn't seem to be reaching enough people, which, you know, really is the greatest dilemma of any pastor or communicator, is that their message doesn't get crossed or get through. So I have a few questions for you. You know, in 2007, I graduated college.
Okay.
And I was asked to come here to this church and start an internship program and be an intern director. And now you are the intern director.
I am.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Now, when you graduated college and you were asked to come and be the intern director, I have a question for you. Did God tell you to be an intern director?
No.
Me either.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I kind of was like, what? That's not how I imagined my role in the church being. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wrestled for a bit on that whole, what, really?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected either, because I mean, I knew I was called to ministry, knew I was supposed to do that, but there was never any specific thing that God gave me. And then when opportunity of intern director presented itself, it was like, oh, didn't think it would be like that.
Me too.
But here we are.
Here we are. So you said the Lord called you to ministry.
Yeah.
So me too.
Yeah.
But he never called me to be an intern director.
Nope, me neither.
So are you outside the Lord's will then? You don't have to answer that.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not.
Yeah. I mean,
Then after a few years of being the intern director, I was asked to hand that over to somebody else. I handed it over to a guy named Ben. And they were then asked me, could you be the youth pastor? And I didn't feel a call to be a youth pastor.
oh, okay.
I didn't. The Lord had never called me to, never called me to be youth pastor.
Yeah.
And I said yes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Then after that, I transitioned as the executive pastor at the church. Never felt that call to that either.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. I find this interesting. I believe though that God's called me to be in the ministry. When I was 15 years old, I felt that call. What was your experience like with that?
I think I was maybe 14. It was after back when we called them convention services.
Yeah.
There was a big call for, like, if you feel called to the ministry, come up to the front and come stand on stage.
Oh.
And I didn't feel called. I didn't. And I was like, this was a part in my life where I'm like, God, I don't know what I want to do with my life.
It's okay. You're only 14. You don't
Yeah.
have to have everything figured out.
But like, as a 14-year-old, you kind of feel like you have to. You know, there's that pressure to figure it all out. And so I was upset that I didn't feel like I had a purpose or anything. And so after service, I went into the Coliseum. I'm like, Lord, what am I supposed to do with my life? And then boom, instantly, thought the Lord called me to ministry.
Man, that's pretty cool. I like
I
that.
know.
I like that a lot.
Praise God.
I too felt called to the ministry. I was 15, so, I was late to the calling.
Late to the party by a year.
Really late to the party. I was way behind. You had a whole year head start on me.
I don't know. Yeah. I think the Lord can call you regardless of what age,
I felt the Lord called me in the ministry too when I was 15 at also our spring convention, which we call revival services now. I also responded to an altar call. A simple altar call is, if you want more of the Lord, come on down. And of course I did, and I went down. I was kneeling at the altar. I was praying. I was worshiping because the worship team was going, and I was just singing along, and I was quieting my spirit before the Lord, and I just was enjoying the Lord's presence, and I felt him speak over me. I want you to go into the ministry. oh, wow.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt that rush, that experience.
Powerful.
And here's a couple of questions I have, though, because there was nothing real specific attached to it. Mm-hmm. It was just, I want you to go into the ministry. You're going into the ministry.
Yeah.
The ministry, you know? Mm-hmm. There was a worship leader, pastor, who was at a conference recently. And he was on stage, and they were doing a whole Q&A with him where anybody from the audience could ask him a question.
Okay.
And he's a very, very popular worship leader, worship pastor, actually. Mm-hmm. And somebody asked him a question, do you feel called to be a worship pastor, or is this your life's purpose to be a worship pastor? And he said, no. And you heard the audience go, like, because it was like unexpected, you know, usually. And so anyway, he goes, what would I do if I got into a car accident and I broke my fingers and my arms and I injured my throat and I could no longer play an instrument or sing? Mm-hmm. Who am I now? That's a good question.
It is a good question.
And he says, I've never felt a specific call to be a worship pastor, but I have felt a specific call to do the will of the Lord for my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is good.
That is good.
So what happened then? Where would we be at, Preston, if some sort of terrible accident happened to us? God forbid, right?
Yeah.
I'm not speaking it into existence.
No, yeah.
I don't believe in that word of faith anyway. Mm-hmm. But we get into some sort of weird accident. We injure ourselves to the point where we can no longer preach. Mm-hmm. We can no longer speak. Who are we now?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Yeah. It doesn't mean our calling's gone.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. 1 Thessalonians 15, 16 through 18. This is great 3 verses. The first verse, verse 16 says, always be joyful.
Okay.
Verse 17, never stop praying. Mm-hmm. Verse 18, be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
Is it in Scripture what God's will is for our life?
Seems like it's right there.
It seems like it's right there,
Being
too.
joyful, praying constantly. Yeah.
I had you look up Micah 6:8.
I did.
Earlier. Mm-hmm. You looked it up. You put a ribbon in it.
I did put a ribbon in it.
Read for all of us, please.
Here we go.
Micah 6:8.
Micah 6:8 says, know, O people, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you, to do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
Whew, man. It feels like the Bible is really crystal clear on God's will for every human being, but for some reason, we don't see it.
Yeah. God's calling has kind of been like morphed and twisted into this thing that's like strictly like vocational.
Yeah.
Or strictly career based.
Yes.
Whereas, I don't know, the Lord can call us to do lots of stuff that's not just vocational. And I think sometimes when it's talking about the Lord's calling, we get so focused on it being vocational and like, do I take this job or do this thing or do this thing? When I think a lot of the time God cares more about our heart in the situation rather than what our choice is.
Mm-hmm. I wrote this down. This is so awesome what you just said. Listen to what I wrote down. It's exactly what you just said.
Oh, nice.
It seems to me that God's plan for your life is not a career path, but the posture of the heart and God's presence with you in your career.
Oh, yeah.
So God tells us the same thing, to go into the ministry. Well, what is ministry? I mean, what is that?
Yeah.
Is it taking care of God's people?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. And that can be done in thousands of different ways.
Yeah.
There's different paths to that. Mm-hmm. There's different capacities. I believe that if we focus too much on the career and the vocation, we will actually have mistakenly along the way lost track of where our heart should be.
Yeah, because
We
you're
get-
so focused on that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, you get so focused, and then you forget the heart, and you get so focused on the career,
Yeah.
and then instead of focusing on loving people along the way, you are using people along the way.
Or instead of finding your identity in Christ and finding your identity in Jesus, it's finding your identity in being a youth pastor or being
Yeah.
a worship pastor or being this. You're rooting your identity in your calling instead of in God.
Yes.
Or like what you think is your vocational calling.
Yeah.
Because think about this. I mean, there's a lot of churches where like the youth pastor will at some point be appointed to senior pastor or whatever. So, but if your calling is just to be a youth pastor, then are you out of God's will if you're a senior pastor? Or if you're so focused on my calling is as a youth pastor, that's it. You're going to be like a 76-year-old youth pastor? There's nothing wrong with that, but
That's where maybe the mistake is, though.
Yeah.
You're kind of showing where the future leads with that
Yeah.
mistake that you make. It leads to some sort of, if something feels out of place,
yeah.
something feels out of place with it. Maybe we should be asking ourselves these kind of questions. This kind of question when it comes to the purpose of my life, the will of the Lord for my life. Not necessarily what's my career, but maybe this. I wrote these down. What kind of pastor do I want to be? That's a good question.
It is a good question. And it keeps your focus on who God wants you to be instead of like what you're doing or instead of like the specific ministry that you're in.
And it gets you to focus more on how are you treating people rather than what are my goals and numbers that would indicate success. How am I? But instead, you're asking yourself, how am I treating people? What kind of pastor do I want to be? I hate to say this, but there are a lot of pastors out there that are bad people. And then the opposite is true too, that there are a lot of doctors out there that are great people.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if each of them has chosen the wrong career path.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you ever meet somebody where you're like, yeah, you really should be a pastor, you know, and they're like a bricklayer or something?
Yeah.
You know, or there's a pastor out there and you're like, you should not be a pastor. You should be like doing something else with your life because you're kind of like, you're just mean.
Yeah.
Like you're cruel, you're mean. Like, it gets complicated when all you're doing is focusing on the career or the vocation and your heart's terrible.
Yeah.
It gets very complicated if you're a pastor in that aspect of things.
Yeah. I think too is like when it comes to God's calling in your life in the ministry setting, we really overcomplicate it. But it feels like kind of everywhere else, you know, it's people are focused on who God is calling them to be as a person, not vocationally.
Yeah.
You know, but in the ministry, it just gets complicated for some reason.
It does. The world tends to get into your brain, and you can get confused accidentally. Like there's so many pep talks out there.
Yeah.
There's so many self-help books.
Yeah.
There's so many people grinding.
Yeah.
You know, and like you kind of get inspired, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna grind this out. We're going for it, baby. And just you're hurting people along the way, and you're like, oh, and then you know, like a couple months go by of like you're grinding, and like nobody likes you anymore.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, is I really doing the right thing?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because now no one likes you. And you're a bad person now.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is success anyway? What is success? I mean, like there, you know, the one with this country artist Zach Bryan. I particularly don't know his music. I'm not a Zach Bryan person to like just go on Spotify and listen to Zach Bryan. I've never done anything like that. But my wife and I like Survivor.
Okay.
And he came on Survivor as a special guest. And it was really kind of cool because there was a tribe that won the game, and their prize was to eat a meal with Zach Bryan, and he was going to play them music on his acoustic guitar.
Okay.
So Zach Bryan like flew to
for
Fiji.
this island.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? And he was there. And of course they were like crying and obsessed. And I'm like, anyway, I'm not a Zach Bryan fan, so it didn't mean much to me. But there's a few people on there that were like devastated that they didn't win and get that prize. But anyway, story goes like this. They're at the campfire with Zach Bryan. They're eating their food, and he's playing the music. And he says, hey, can I play you guys a brand new song I just wrote? It's not even out yet.
Nice.
And they're like, sure. And so he's playing his song, and I must say, it's actually really good.
Nice.
I mean,
That's good.
there's a reason this guy's popular, right?
Uh-huh.
And he has a line in the song. He's playing his guitar and he's singing, and he goes like this. He sings this. He says, some people are so poor, all they have is money. Oh, I looked over at my wife. I was like, oh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Preston, that we can get sidetracked so much in life where we abandon the things that are most important to pursue the least important.
Yeah.
That we can, if we're not careful, we can lose sight of really what we're on earth to do. And I've said it on the megaphone, and I've said it on the microphone, and I'm going to say it again, that our purpose in life is like this. Your life is like a garden. And it's your responsibility to make the people around you bloom and to get rid of all the weeds. I feel like that's the purpose of life. And no matter what you do with your life, you can accomplish that.
Yeah.
And if you're not accomplishing that, then no matter what you're doing with your life, you just might be failing.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of focusing on, what am I doing with my life, it's who is God trying to, or like who's God trying to make me? When our focus is so much on what do I do next? What is this? How do I do this? But rather, who is God trying to make me?
Yeah. It's been great to be with you today, audience.
Deep questions today.
I agree. And
Deep convo.
I'm not sure we got to the bottom of all of it.
I don't think we did.
I think we scratched the surface in some of it.
A little bit.
I'm confident we did.
Yeah.
How would you describe this podcast?
A BANAS saltwater taffy.
Praise the Lord. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Youth and Young Adult Podcast. Youth and Young Adult Podcast. Youth and Young Adult Podcast.